Hello. Addressing the perennial challenge of farmer-herder conflict in Nigeria requires a comprehensive approach, and that's exactly what the federal government says it is bringing to bear through Livestock Transformation Plan. We deliberate on this today on this edition of Weekend File. Good evening, and do be our guest. Since the return of democracy in 1999, Nigeria has been grappling with diverse security challenges. One of them is farmer-herder conflicts, which have led to many deaths, loss of property, and displacement of thousands of people. There are many theoretical explanations for the causes and the nature of the clashes. But what is clear is the fact that the inability of successive administrations to effectively manage the challenge resulted in the exacerbation of the conflict. But in the spirit of righting the wrongs and proffering solutions to protracted conflicts of such magnitude, the federal government has finally settled for a more comprehensive plan known as the National Livestock Transformation Plan, built on 6 pillars, namely economic investment, conflict resolution, law and order, humanitarian relief, information education, and strategic communication. The flag-off of the plan at Gongoshi Grazing Reserve in Adamawa State recently, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo indicated that the project is part of federal government's initiative in collaborating with the state governments and other stakeholders under the auspices of National Economic Council. According to the VP, the new plan will focus on livestock modernization using a mix of nomadic breeding and ranching. It will as well address the issue of dislocated populations and provide platform and mechanism for peaceful dialogue and reconciliation of affected communities towards achieving harmonious multicultural independence and a mutually beneficial future. So tonight, we will examine the implementation strategy of the drivers of this plan to appreciate its practicability and the roles of stakeholders such as Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association and All Farmers Association of Nigeria. And what about the financial implication of the project, its sourcing, and other expected matters arising from the initiative? Thanks for tuning in to Weekend File for today. It's indeed nice to be here. And let's get started with the news. My name is Kirian Umayo. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is calling on Nigerians, especially young graduates, to be hardworking and committed as the present moment calls for creative optimism necessary for transforming Nigeria's potential to greatness. The Vice President made the call while delivering the 8th convocation lecture of Osun State University in Osogbo. Tobalabi reports.
The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, in a paper entitled 6 Decades of Checkered Nationhood, affirms that Nigeria still holds the key to Africa's development. Nigeria, the lecturer highlighted, has the 9th largest stock of arable lands in the world and the #1 producers of cassava, yams, sorghum, and millet in Africa, with top 10 telephone users in the world having 174 million GSM phones, 17 million Facebook users, and #2 in mobile internet banking. The federal government under President Muhammadu Buhari is poised to turn these outstanding endowments to opportunities for young people to work, innovate, and produce.
Is that our most important resource is our people, not oil. It is the people of this country. That is the most important resource. In any event, most of the countries that have succeeded all over the world do not even have any resources at all. It is the people that they have depended on. And so for us, we see that in the next few years, we must invest substantially in human capital development, especially education and healthcare.
All the interventions in infrastructure, especially rail transportation, social investment programs, among others, Professor Osinbajo says, are all geared towards uplifting the citizenry and indeed the nation.
We recognize that development and the fulfillment of national aspirations will not be brought about by wishful thinking. The present moment calls for creative optimism and a commitment to the hard and necessary work of transforming our fabled potential at long last into performance. And what will that performance look like? In simple terms, it will be a Nigeria that works for all of us, that serves as an inspiration for the rest of the continent.
Professor Osinbajo wants Nigerians to know that graduates must begin to be creatively inspired to contribute to the growth of the country with the belief that Nigeria is bound to succeed. In Oshobo, Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
Former head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, has called on the youth to embrace the virtues of tolerance and respect for human dignity. The former head of state made the call at the second General Abdulsalami Abubakar Foundation annual Peace Lecture in Minna, Niger State. Dauda Mohammed has that report.
21st of September every year is a United Nations sanctioned holiday observed since 1981 to raise awareness on peace education and to create platforms for the discussion of peace as an important tool for development across the globe. The General Abdulsalami Abubakar Institute for Peace and Sustainable Development Studies, in collaboration with the University of Ibadan, organized its second annual Foundation Peace Lecture with the theme, Good Politics at the Service of Peace, the role of eminent personalities in the prevention and management of conflict in Nigeria, to highlight the critical role expected of personalities across the country, especially retired civil servants and traditional rulers.
Military solution does not end conflicts. So it is always better to talk than to fight. So I advise that whenever we have grievances, we should sit down and discuss.
We outlined measures to address some of these security challenges from two fronts, using the security agencies with the military might, and at the same time, recently we have engaged into dialogue with some of the aggrieved bandits.
The need to engender well thought out, deliberate and concrete steps that aid in fostering peace and security education must be pursued.
This is also a good platform in which we have learned, we have come to see what has been done on the higher stage.
The practitioners, political elite, policymakers, if they come together and interrogate the issues, we are going to arrive at a peaceful way of resolving the issues.
27 repentant bandits were granted pardon by the Niger State government at the event. In Minna, Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
There are indications that if autonomy is given to local governments, most of the conflicts and insecurities bedeviling the country would have been reduced to the barest. The issue is once again on the front burner as Nigeria joins the rest of the world in commemorating 2019 United Nations Day of Peace. Joseph Johnson reports that action for peace is the theme for this year's global discourse.
Nations of the world have identified a common threat to peace, climate change, and this has necessitated discourse in different fora, including United Nations General Assembly in New York, where President Muhammadu Buhari and his counterparts are expected to proffer solutions to mitigating the menace of global warming and other salient issues. But they are not the only ones talking about the challenge. Back home, this crop of Nigerians are also lending their voices to the matter. For them, the effect of climate change is overbearing as it trickles down to negatively affecting the livelihood of humans and livestock, giving terrorism, kidnapping, militancy and other social vices a breathing space.
We must continue to promote policies and programs constituting palliative measures in tackling the global climate change so as to enhance unity, peace and progress of the Nigerian citizens.
I, on behalf of the Fulanis, call on Nigerian civil society action on support local government autonomy, knowing fully well that most of these early warning symptoms emanate from local communities.
Organized by West Africa Action Network on Small Arms, WANSA, Nigeria, in collaboration with Miyetti Allah Fulani Initiative for Peace. The event, many here believe, raises the hope that Nigerians are becoming more concerned about tackling the issue head-on, to engender peaceful coexistence in the country. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari felicitates with His Excellency Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China, on the upcoming 70th anniversary of the establishment of People's Republic of China. The President also congratulates the Communist Party and the people of China on their anniversary. In a statement by Femi Adesina, a media advisor to President Buhari, the Nigerian leader rejoices with the hardworking and patriotic people of China who have demonstrated over the years a very high sense of unity of purpose, patriotism, and full confidence in their leaders. And 48 to the Chinese government is now a significant figure as it reminds them of the benefiting relationship with Nigeria over the period. This led to China General Chamber of Commerce in Nigeria to honor 48 Nigerians with awards for their remarkable effort in promoting Nigeria-China relations at their various places of work. Patricia Samiluba was at the Gala Night in Abuja, which featured cultural displays from both countries.
For the past 7 decades, China say it has struggled to achieve what is today known as modern China by putting people first and rating that as the first key element in terms of progress within any nation. Call it a sure step on the road to greater understanding and future partnership between Nigeria and China. And you won't be wrong.
We are working very hard ourselves, and we have good friends like Nigeria.
Patriotism to one's country. China is today one of the greatest countries in the world.
The policies formulated by the Chinese government continue to work together with the Chinese and Nigeria people.
Of course, Nigeria acknowledges its role to the betterment of its people, whereby bringing its investors to invest in Nigeria. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory represented congratulates the government of China and its people at its anniversary of the founding, and that Nigeria's doors are open to more benefiting relations.
We have the capacity. We also are willing to accommodate. It's a win-win situation.
The Chinese government is using the opportunity to support the various award recipients and encourage them towards greater bilateral relations, hence the award to 48 Nigerians with outstanding records. In Abuja, Patricia A. Samiluba, NTA News.
Achieving the mandate of the next level towards lifting millions of Nigerians out of poverty will require selflessness, sacrifice, and innovation on the part of all public servants. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, speaking at an appreciation dinner for committee members of the 2019 Presidential Inauguration and Democracy Day celebrations. He stressed the need for every foot soldier of the Buhari administration to redouble effort towards effective service delivery to Nigerians. Mtare Ibn tells us more.
No nation thrives without the services and contributions of noble citizens. Eminent Nigerians and top government functionaries gathered at this dinner were the brains behind the success of the presidential inauguration on May 29, 2019, as well as the maiden June 12 Democracy Day celebration. They worked tirelessly, mostly behind the scenes in various sub-committees to make both events memorable and hitch-free. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, says the Buhari administration requires greater commitment from all public servants to drive the next level agenda.
You exhibited sacrifice, even at the detriment sometimes of your safety and health. I hope that this recognition and appreciation by government, by way of this modest dinner, would motivate others to contribute their part when duty calls.
For the little we did, I want to assure you that the next time you call us again, we'll be glad to come.
For the public servants, some of who have assumed higher responsibilities in governance, no effort will be spared in helping Mr. President
through the use of science, technology, and innovation to push forward the commercialization of these inventions so that they can translate into employment.
And we have pledged to make sure that all our lost glory is revamped.
The reward for hard work, they say, is more work, and these Nigerians say they are ready to go the extra mile for the Buhari administration. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Speaker, House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila says the 9th National Assembly is committed to ensuring total allocation of remaining funds for the completion of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies Permanent Senate. He gave the assurance and oversight the completion level of the 6 years ongoing project. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
Sitting on 8.2 hectares of land along Airport Road in Abuja, the permanent site project inspected by the Speaker, House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, has reached 80% completion level. The aim is in line with the objectives of the Institute in providing the requisite training on legislative engagements, analysis on critical democratic issues, and international exchange of experiences that will facilitate the needed actions for advancement of democracy in Nigeria.
Research is a critical component of any development of any country, and that's why this has to be priority. Once funding is harnessed, from what I understand, another 6 months to full completion.
When it's held tentatively between now and 6 months' time, we are still within the scope. So if the fund comes before December, we move in.
Meanwhile, 7 members advisory board of the institute has been inaugurated with Professor Nuhu Yaqub as the chairman. The new board was briefed on the institute's mandate as a multidisciplinary policy-oriented center capable of strengthening the entire democratic process in Nigeria and beyond. In Abuja, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Now, following recent military onslaught on Boko Haram hideouts along the Lake Chad region and northern Borno, some surviving terrorists are seeking refuge in communities in the parts of Borno and Yobe State. A statement by the Acting Director, Army Public Relations, Operation Lafia Dole, Colonel Ado, enjoins residents to be vigilant as anyone found harboring the criminals will face the law, but are encouraged to report suspicious persons through the Army Report platform on www.army.mail.ng, toll-free short code 193. And more on security. In continuation of its sustained air offensive against terrorist elements in the northeast of the country, the Nigerian Air Force, through the Air Task Force on Operation Lafia Dole, has neutralized scores of terrorists and destroyed their hideouts in separate airstrikes conducted at the Bada, Abangaram and the Tembun regions in Borno State. The raids were executed between 13th and 20th of September 2019 based on credible human intelligence reports. Director of Public Relations and Information of the Nigerian Air Force, Air Commodore Ibukunle Daramola, says the Nigerian Air Force will sustain the tempo of effort, operating in concert with surface forces to completely destroy all remnants of the terrorists in the northeast of Nigeria. Now, the Rivers State Police Command has paraded one Gracious David West, who is a prime suspect in the serial killings of young ladies in Port Harcourt. Rivers State Commissioner of Police Mustafa Dandara, at a media briefing, said 3 other suspects are still undergoing investigation. Robinson Daratede has the report.
A 39-year-old suspect, Gracious David West, is an indigene of Buguma in a Saritorial local government area of Rivers State. He was arrested in a commercial bus by the operatives of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad en route to Akwa Ibom State in Ogoni axis of the East-West Road.
The same dress he was using when he went to the last hotel and killed his last victim there. Shirt and jeans trouser. We are all watching him. That is the same dress he was using when he did the last murder in the hotel. And we asked him, what is the motive of this killing? Why single women? He said he doesn't know. Even he said he doesn't know that the team will just come to him like that, and he just feel like he want to kill.
When questioned on the motive of his operation and other members of his group, the suspect said he was alone in the act.
I buy a knife, kitchen knife.
Kitchen knife?
Yes, sir. Before we go inside the hotel after eating, after making love, we sleep for some time. So after sleeping, on that sometime, the girl, I will wake the girl up. But to be unknown to her, when she's sleeping, I will now hold her on her leg. And I now use the knife on her leg. I let her not shout. If she shout, before that I will follow the television up. I told her if she shout that I will kill her with this on her leg.
The command urged the public to support the police for security of lives and property in the state. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Derateide, NTA News.
Now, in its commitment to empower Nigerians to be self-reliant, the federal government, through the Micro Enterprises Enhancement Scheme, has disbursed loans to beneficiaries to expand their businesses in Gombe State. Correspondent Nafisa Omar Garba, who witnessed the disbursement exercise, completes the report.
The loan, which is the third phase, which was disbursed by the National Directorate of Employment in collaboration with the Office of the Permanent Secretary in the Presidency, is to develop micro-enterprises operators. The 100 beneficiaries of the loan, who were drawn from across the state, each was given the sum of 10,000 naira. They were asked to make good use of the loan to multiply their business and earnings.
The President's expiration that we collaborated with the Office of the National Directorate of Employment to ensure that as a pilot stage, 100 people or persons are assisted with 10,000 naira aid. Our target is about 5,000 people in Gombe.
I don't expect them to use it to do anything other than what it is intended.
The beneficiaries appreciated the gesture, pledging to use the loan given toward promoting their businesses. The Micro Enterprise Enhancement Scheme is part of the Buhari Administration Empowerment Scheme, aimed at taking Nigerians to the next level through financial assistance for business operation. In Gombe, Nafisa Umar Garba, NTA News.
As part of efforts to promote financial system stability within the national economy, the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation is synergizing with key players who have stake in their operation. Austin Anyabe reports that considering the judiciary as a stakeholder, the corporation is organizing a sensitization seminar for judges of the Federal High Court in Abuja.
Financial stability is key to the sustenance of any national economy. This is a task the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation is saddled with by primarily ensuring that depositors have access to their deposits in the event that any bank is liquidated. To perform this financial regulation, the corporation monitors banks' performance from time to time, and if any is found wanting, is asked to wind up by applying to the Federal High Court for obtaining such orders as required by the Corporation Act of 2006. This is where the need for the capacity building of judges comes in, and the NDIC has been organizing this type of seminar since 2012.
It is pertinent to note that legal issues impacting on the operation of the deposit insurance system are critical to depositors' protection, banking supervision, as well as distress resolution and liquidation of failed insured institutions.
In attendance at the 2019 seminar are more than 100 Federal High Court judges who were admonished by the acting Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Soho, to open themselves to learning to catch up with the dynamics of legal practice in the society.
The critical role the Federal High Court plays in ensuring stability in the financial system of this country, I urge your lordships to always be prepared to imbibe new ideas that may come up from interactions of this nature and working relationship with institutions like the NDIC, without, however, compromising your duties as judicial officers.
The theme for this year's seminar is the role of deposit insurance in promoting financial system stability. In Abuja, Austin Anyabe, NTA News.
Well, this is the network service of the NTA, and you are on to Weekend File. Our focus today is on the National Livestock Transformation Plan of the federal government, a practical response to farmer-herder conflict in Nigeria, which is about to unfold. Stay with us and learn more about the initiative, and that will be just in a moment.
Bayes University is a fully licensed university operating since 2011 and has grown to have 32 accredited programs in 6 faculties. This includes computer and applied sciences, management and social sciences, engineering, environmental sciences, law, and basic medical sciences. The university also offers postgraduate programs and foundation courses in a conducive learning environment with modern teaching facilities and high-quality national and international staff. Bayes University graduates have either progressed into respectable career positions or have obtained postgraduate degrees from different parts of the world with distinctions. Call or visit www.bayesuniversity.edu.ng. Bayes University, Abuja. Learn to live.
From the creeks of the Niger Delta to the Atlantic Ocean, inland waters and beyond, activities of some unpatriotic Nigerians and criminals are, however, harming Nigeria and Nigerians. Say no to crude oil theft, pipeline vandalism, and illegal oil refineries. These criminal acts destroy the environment, kill maritime life, destroy the livelihood of farmers, fishermen, and reduce Nigeria's economy by billions of naira. Nigerian Navy patrols are working round the clock to secure Nigeria's maritime integrity. Support the Navy and say no to acts that destroy our collective resources. Stop these criminal acts. Blow the whistle. The long arm of the law will surely catch up with culprits. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Navy. Onward together.
Hey, you! And are you how they talk to? I sabi you now. It's in day your mind, Abi. The person with them go help us. Baba Toros and Shangalo. Oga Lekuva, Mr. Sabi. And you know if we carry last for this one.
A spear into the top corner.
We Sabi say Peking will crawl before in waka. So don't look, no help anybody. No dolly, no. So go for it. Go for football. Go for all Syria on the Liga Martins live. Go for Go TV Max.
From our wonderful family, meet Smalley, our little one. He's always hanging out with friends. Packed with healthy nutrition, nourishing vitamins, power-up protein, strength of calcium, revitalizing energy. Hollandia yogurt is bursting with goodness inside and out. Hollandia yogurt, it's all good.
You're welcome back. Now, the National Livestock Transformation Development Program is designed to address incessant clashes between farmers and herders in the country. The transformation plan is also expected to upscale beef and milk outputs in the country. In this report, Musa Babali takes a look at the transformation plan document and how it will be implemented.
The Livestock Transformation Development Program is a 10-year plan which is to run from 2019 to 2028 and initiated by the federal government and accepted by state governors under the National Economic Council. The plan is not only about farmers and pastoralist clashes, but a program designed to provide a holistic strategy towards addressing challenges associated with animal husbandry. 100 billion naira has been budgeted to support the project, with the federal government contributing 80% to support states willing to participate in the program.
Why states will contribute land, project implementation structure, personnel, and 20% cost of the project.
Any state that's interested in establishing any livestock-related intervention or investment, it can also be supported under the National Livestock Transformation Plan.
Analysts are of the view that if the plan works as planned, the strategy is expected to deliver investment returns of 2 trillion naira to the Nigerian economy. They also estimate that the livestock subsector will be worth 8 trillion naira from its current 2.2 trillion naira.
we have a livestock of nearly 25 to 30 trillion naira as part of our GDP. It's our national asset. But you have a situation where you can create the long-lasting value chain in that particular sector, and they still exist.
In the first phase, the plan will support the development of grazing reserves in each of the participating states. Smallholder herders and investors will be allowed to keep their animals for fattening, milk production and breeding. For instance, a cow weighing 250 kilograms will be fattened to about 450 kilograms in 150 days and will be sold above 350,000 naira. The pilot program will be implemented in 8 states of Adamawa, Benue, Kaduna, Niger, Nasarawa, Plateau, Taraba and Zamfara.
We have made moves to indicate interest, like it was 7 states before. And we learned reliably from the outcome of the meeting in Kaduna that some states that were not originally in the 7 states have keyed in, and we too have actually keyed in.
Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Thank you indeed, Musa. A federal government partnership with WAMCO in the area of dairy development program in Oyo State has continued to enhance the earning power of dairy farmers in the state with steady revenue occasioned by the readily available market for raw milk. In this special report, Dayo Ogunshola takes a look at the impact of the partnership on dairy farmers.
In the last 8 years, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, in partnership with WAMCO, has continued to change the experience and narrative among local dairy farmers through the Nigeria Dairy Development Program, which has improved local milk sourcing in alignment with National Development Goal. By pioneering local milk sourcing through an efficient and extended local milk collection network, the system has connected most dairy farmers in Oyo State. The partnership over the years has led to establishment of more than 10 collection ponds, 5 collection centers, and a state-of-the-art facility milk bulking center located at Isheyin in Oyo State. The Dairy Development Program, with safety, quality assurance, and international best practices as its baseline, attracts support of expatriates from time to time, which has enhanced capacity and knowledge of local dairy farmers with entrenched benefits to the operators.
We can form a partnership that is more synthetic and more sustainable. We want to transform, not just settling them down, but transforming them into smallholder dairy farmers where they are able to supply from 1 liter to about 10 liters per cow.
Apart from readily available market in the dairy value chain for farmers, WAMCO, in partnership with government, has taken the intervention to areas that can address some of the perennial needs of dairy farmers.
Since this initiative has come, migration has greatly reduced among us because of the benefits we are enjoying from it.
With federal government, in some of the milk collection center, we built bowl. We have over 40 bowls for them, so they have water. Because of that, we have reduced this migration drastically.
With more milk collection ponds being created to connect with other farmers in the state, addressing identified deficit in road, power supply, and security will continue to sustain the developmental strategy. In Ibadan, Dayo Ogunshola, NTA News.
And Tina Toro from Kaduna in this next report takes a look at the role of National Animal Production Research Institute in the implementation of the Livestock Transformation Plan with regards to breeding, beef and dairy production.
The National Livestock Transformation Plan is targeted at supporting the development of Nigeria's livestock sector through modern breeding and dairy production methods. This falls within the mandate of the National Animal Production Research Institute, Zaria, which has the capacity to train manpower for a smooth takeoff and running of the transformation plan.
Now, the training can be in the form of acquiring skills and management of animals, and also in the area of establishment of pastures.
Example you can see here, we have Mulato 2,
This grass has a crude protein between 12 and 15, you understand? And it depends on the stage of growth.
Crossbreeding of cattle through artificial insemination for improved yield as well as quality beef and value chain addition in dairy production are some aspects the National Animal Production Research Institute is according priority.
These crosses do better with every production aspect. So we're talking of the body size, the milk production, age at puberty, age at first insemination. All of these production indices have been improved upon in the crosses.
We have the major local breeds that we have are the Enkasa, the Uda, and the Balami breeds. So we have them all together here. We try to breed them, multiply them, and then we carry out researches in various aspects of the production.
In Zaria, Tina Turu, NTA News.
The socio-economic activities of the people of Adamawa State, especially farmers and herders, will now be for the better following the launching of 5 grazing reserves under the National Livestock Transformation Plan of the federal government. Simon Asher reports.
Over the years, Adamawa State had its own share of the spoil in the lingering crisis between farmers and herders. As a result, many lost their lives and valuables worth millions of naira destroyed. However, the narrative is now changing for the better with the launch of the National Livestock Transformation Plan in 5 grazing reserves covering 60,000 hectares of land. No doubt will provide lasting solutions to the incessant conflicts between farmers and herders and enhance peaceful coexistence for the betterment of the society.
By flagging this project of livestock development in Adamawa State is highly welcome and appreciated by the rearers, because now they will settle in one place without having trouble with their neighbors.
If animals have been provided with where they are going to graze, browse, and have their watering points, in addition to the children of the nomads who will also be there to have the benefit of going to school, enjoy health facilities and other social infrastructure, that will in fact increase their own productivity by way of their own contribution to the economy of the state.
The plan, therefore, is a practical response to resolve issues of cattle grazing and revive grazing reserves routes for livestock, so as to optimize the use of the reserve for modern livestock production. With this development, Abdullahi Umar, who was met while grazing his cattle, will have the opportunity to key into this initiative for optimal productivity.
The National Livestock Transformation Plan program, initiated by the federal government, provides avenue for nomadic cattle rearers like Abdullahi Umar, among others, to rear their cattle in tune with modern techniques.
It will
help to bring peace between us and rearers.
With this, the lingering crisis on the need for land for grazing and farming activities between farmers and herders will now come to an end. In Yola, Simon Asher, NTA News.
Well, Simon has just become a farmer all of a sudden. Thank you for that report. Now, going forward, Andrew Kwasari is the Advisor, Agriculture Interventions Coordination Office of the Vice President. He's already here in the studio and he's going to, of course, bring in more perspective to the issue for conversation. Do stay with us. I'll be right back.
From our wonderful family, meet our active triplets. Mixology, for example, mixes well with drinks. Then enjoy every quick meal with Slurp It Off. And everywhere you go, there is Go-Gurt.
Packed with healthy nutrition, nourishing vitamins, power of protein, strength of calcium, revitalizing energy, Hollandia yogurt is bursting with goodness inside and out. Hollandia yogurt, it's all good.
He's sending me this type of letter. Don't be discreet. So, this type of celebration is going to happen in Lojaville. This is great. NTA and the village headmaster family are going to celebrate 50 years. Wait, you mean People have been watching Village Headmaster.
Kabesi, I agree with your chief. They have killed me, Kabesi. They have killed me, Panapati. Oh, they have killed me. Those big people in Lagos. Import license. They have killed me, Kabesi.
Come October 8, 10, and 11. I, Tisha Fadele of Oja Community School, will be there, live and direct. I will laugh, dance, and even dance Azonto and Shaku Shaku. And when Sonny Ade plays, I will dance Showambe. Showambe. It's going to be a great celebration in Oja Village.
They are there at the crack of dawn. They are there busy preparing while we rise for our day. They are there silently, guarding, waiting, listening, and watching. They are there ready in the sky above and the waters below, in the blistering heat of the day, in the dead of night, willing, indefatigable, determined in the defense of the sovereignty of our country. They are our first line of defense and our last. They who have paid the ultimate price in defending us. They are fathers and uncles. They are mothers and sisters and girlfriends and boyfriends. They are brothers and cousins and best friends and neighbors. They are classmates, colleagues, and citizens of this nation. They are our defenders and deserve our respect, our prayers, our thoughts. Nigeria, please support our armed forces.
And you're indeed welcome back to the program. I'm now being joined by Andrew Kwasari. Andrew Kwasari is actually the SSA, that's a senior special advisor to the president on agriculture at the office of vice president. Andrew, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Kirian.
Yes, you have been talking about this for a while now, the new development plan with respect to developing a new concept of to settle harder farmer clashes in Nigeria. Now, I want to ask you this. What is unique about this present plan that was apparently missing in the previous ones like Roga or ranching?
Thank you, Kirian. What is unique about the National Livestock Transformation Plan is that the National Livestock Transformation Plan is a focused strategy developed having undergone a series of consultation with stakeholders across the most affected states in this country between January 2018 to January 2019. This plan has clearly analyzed the situation, the issues, and these issues basically are how do we solve the conflict. But in solving the conflict, there are underlying factors or drivers. Key is the fact that this conflict is related to resources of land, resources of pasture and water, and this competition between crop farmers and livestock farmers have been escalating in the last few decades. So it's not a new crisis. However, what is new or what is different is that we also, the plan fashioned by the National Economic Council in conjunction with Federal Ministry of Agriculture also understood that today, while the basic crises were driven before by unavailability of particularly pasture and water, today we have other drivers like climate change that is affecting most of the land up north. And then we have the issue of the political, ethnic and religious biases also that have come to create a lot of situations. So the plan is different because then it holistically addresses all of this. How do we then provide pasture, water and land for the pastoralists and for the crop farmers? How do we also tackle the issues, the humanitarian crisis that is left in the wake of all the communities that have had these conflicts or that have been affected by this conflict? So the plan comes with robust step-by-step strategy, which if implemented will then deal with all of this, create this ecosystem of conflict resolution, dialogue, justice and peace, and all that we need to really move away, because for us to start the process of transformation, we really need to address the issues of the conflicts that these have created. Then the plan narrows in on economic investment, whereby it is clear about what you need to do to support the smallholder farmers that are within and around the specific gazetted grazing reserves today, and what you need to do to also handhold the pastoralists, because the issue is we have today 95% of our national cattle population in the hands of pastoralists that are majorly or mainly of Fulani extraction. But these people move around, and we have evidence everywhere that they move around in search of food and water for their cattle. And this movement, if we can address the availability of this, they are willing to settle, particularly with the escalating conflicts that have turned fertile with introduction of sophisticated weapons that are being used to unleash mayhem on the society. So this is unique. I cannot stress more the need to handhold the pastoralists through classical extension service provision to teach them how to modernize. And that's why the National Livestock Transformation Plan has a window of 10 years through which, if government does this consistently, we will find people adopting to modern livestock production system, ranching in a way that it is tailor-made to the available hard holding of these mobile or nomadic pastoralists. In addition, it also deals with all of the issues of how do we then support. So the plan will model ranching, a kind of tailor-made ranching in line with cattle herds that we have today, or the sizes, and also give support to the non-ranching pastoral communities to settle and observe how their own people are adopting to this pilot.
All right, thank you. You know, it's always difficult to effect a change in any society. You know, these are herders who have been nomadic in nature for decades. You know, and now we want to bring them together. Now, this project is a collaborative project between the federal government, state, local government, crop farmers, pastoralists, and investors. Now, what is the operational framework or the structure of the project and the roles of all these stakeholders, briefly?
You know, in addition to the policy itself, the National Livestock Transformation Plan, there is also an implementation guideline that specifies clearly how and what the role of federal government and state government should be. The role of federal government and state government, basically in the pilot phase, is supporting and funding the basic infrastructure. Implementation is 100% at the state, and that is critical because federal government must retain the role of coordination, monitoring, and evaluation of the performance of each participating state. The state governments have to take responsibility of implementation, and this is key. How we handhold the state to set up the state implementation team that understand all of the issues, that also is aware that you need to follow the methodology of addressing the 6 pillars and that no pillar is left out. It's key to success.
Okay, now what is the entry point of the investors? You know, so what are expected of them?
Yes,
you know, because of course federal government and state government are going to be funding.
Yes.
Where do they come in?
Okay, so the funding, the plan also clearly identifies how funds will be used. In the pilot phase, most of the funding of public funding, which is federal and state, will go towards enabling the environment. And enabling environment means here, first, there's a coherence policy that allows an investor to understand that this is a 10-year plan over which we want to see transformation. Second is that the public funding will deal with the non-investable components of the plan, providing infrastructure. Providing infrastructure could be access road to the particular gazetted grazing reserve, watering points for the non-ranching pastoralists, a preparation of land for the crop farmers that are within, power supply to the site, such that the private sector people with whom we have dialogued couple of times, can see where investments are clear, like you showed in your preliminary background report. Today in Isenyi, it is very easy for Friesland Campina Wamco to offtake the milk because already the needed environment for the pastoralists to be around a particular location is provided. It is easier for them because there is water that is provided for the pastor. So the public investment should create the opportunities for value addition for private sector to invest, for feed, particularly supplementary feed, for animal health services, even the breed improvement services. All of these, the management of these facilities ab initio, these are all opportunities that the private sector can come in clearly. Development of a new concept around fodder market, not necessarily talking about fodder for the sake of fodder, but how can also a private sector key in developing fodder that can be immediate in the immediate environment or remotely located, but can be through the business case that has been created in this particular location, can pull in demand, can pull in fodder, so fodder can be transported to all of these locations when done properly. So there are lots of opportunities. What is critical, Kirian, is how the public monitors this, that federal and state government spending does not or do not occlude the opportunities that private sector people could see. And for me, when I talk about private sector, I see first and foremost the pastoralist with 20, 30, 40 heads of cattle as an investor. And the crop farmer who is within this gazetted grazing reserve is an investor. So how do we then improve their businesses? Then the larger investors. And when we converse with all of the people that are in this, we know that there are many things, but what an investor wants above all is a stable policy. It's a stable policy.
And we're going to believe that when this comes to fruition, of course, the ripple effect of it at the positive angle will be immense, and the Nigerians will be the better for it. We'd like to thank you, Andrew, for also coming here today to share your thoughts on this very matter. Andrew Kwasari is actually the senior special advisor to the President on Agriculture at the Office of the Vice President. Once more, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Kirian.
All right, sports is next. I'll be right back.
And now you had to talk to. I sabi you now. It's in your mind, Abi. The person with them go help us. Baba Torosa, Shangalo, Ogalekuva, Mr. Sabi. And you know if we carry last for this one.
A spear into the top corner.
We Sabi say Peking will crawl before in waka. So don't look, no help anybody. No dolly, no. So go for it. Go for football. Go for all Serie A and La Liga matches live. Go for GoTV Max.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
Now, Minister of Sports meets with the board of Nigeria Football Federation and, of course, to chart a new course on the development of the game in Nigeria. Olumide Eguntola is our guide on Sports Update.
The Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dari, has charged kids at the Lukpeju Basketball Academy of the Dodan Warriors to hold on to their dreams by playing basketball regularly until their targets are achieved. Also, the Minister of Sports and the board of the Nigerian Football Federation, during a meeting held in Abuja, resolved to reposition the domestic league youth development in sports, ensure management of resources, private investment in sports development, and to ensure that the NFF bill is transmitted for assent by Mr. President speedily, among other resolutions. Ahead of the 2019 Under-17 World Cup in Brazil, the Nigeria's national team, the Golden Eaglets, will on Sunday take on host Turkey in an UEFA CAF international tournament. Eaglets' other opponents in Group A are Guatemala and Senegal. The tournament, scheduled to hold between 20th and 28th of September, is to prepare the teams ahead of the World Cup. And from La Paz, Umar Ndalema reports that drug abuse and doping among athletes across the world has continued to be a major hindrance to the development of the sector, despite efforts to stem the tide. The Nigeria Association for Physical, Health, Education, Recreational Sports and Dance is to fashion ways to effectively curtail the trend as it holds its 48th National Conference and workshop taking place at the IBB University, La Paz, Niger State.
Our members include teachers in schools that have contact with young children and youths. So we felt that from there, we can also be spreading campaign against use of drugs.
So to speak, it has reached an epidemic proportion, and any conference, that makes the issue of drug abuse as the centerpiece of its team definitely is doing the society a lot of good.
The association is expected to issue a communique at the end of the annual conference. With sports updates, Olumide Guntola, NTA News.
With gratitude to Almighty God for a life well lived and in total submission to His divine will, the family of His Royal Highness late Igwe John O. Nwodo announces the passing on to the great beyond of their father, grandfather, and brother, late Igwe Elder John Nwodo, JP. Until his death, Igwe John Nwodo was the traditional ruler of Oboleke Autonomous Community in Udenu local government area of Enugu State. A seasoned civil servant, a chartered town planner, and fellow Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, Igwe John Nwodo retired from the service of the Federal Capital Development Authority, FCDA, as a Deputy Director, Urban and Regional Planning Department. Funeral arrangement, among others, as follows. Service of songs, Sunday, 22nd September 2019, 5 to 7 p.m. Plot 787, 1 George Ine Crescent, Legislative Quarters, Zone E, Apo in Abuja. Line in state and interment, Thursday, 3rd of October 2019, 9 to 2 p.m. at Igwe's Palace, Oboleke, Enugu State. Funeral service and last of Allah, Thursday, 3rd October 2019, 9 to 2 p.m. at Community Central School, Oboleke, Enugu State. The late Igwe is survived by his wife, children, and their grandchildren. Announcer Prince Onyeka Johnson John for the family. And we concluded today's edition of Weekend File on that note. We thank you for watching, and join us again next Saturday when we'll come back with another edition of news, views, and analysis. From all of us here, it's good night.